This article will be studied during the week of June 27th to July 3rd. Christian families, stay awake. Theme text: Let us stay awake and keep our senses. 1 Thessalonians 5:6. Paragraphs 1 and 2. Question: What is required if a family is to succeed in staying awake spiritually? Referring to the great and fear-inspiring day of Jehovah, the Apostle Paul wrote to the Christians in Thessalonica, "Brothers, you are not in darkness, so that that day should overtake you as it would thieves. For you are all sons of light and sons of day. We belong neither to night nor to darkness." Paul added, "So then, let us not sleep on as the rest do, but let us stay awake and keep our senses." 1 Thessalonians 5:4-6. Paul's counsel to the Thessalonians is especially fitting for Christians living in the time of the end. Daniel 12:4. As the end of his wicked system of things nears, Satan is bent on turning as many true worshippers as he can away from serving God. We are therefore wise to take to heart Paul's admonition to remain spiritually vigilant. If a Christian family is to succeed in staying awake, it is important that each member shoulder his or her scriptural responsibility. What role, then, do husbands, wives, and young ones play in helping their families to stay awake? Husbands, imitate the fine shepherd. Paragraph 3. Question: According to 1 Timothy 5:8, what does a man's responsibility as the head of a household include? The head of a woman is the man, states the Bible. 1 Corinthians 11:3. What does a man's responsibility as the head of a household involve? Outlining one aspect of headship, the Scriptures say, "If anyone does not provide for those who are his own, and especially for those who are members of his household, he has disowned the faith and is worse than a person without faith." 1 Timothy 5:8. Indeed, a man should provide materially for his family. If he is to help his family to stay awake spiritually, though, he must prove to be more than just a breadwinner. He needs to build up his household spiritually, helping all in the family to strengthen their relationship with God. How can he do so? Paragraph 4. Question: What can help a man to succeed in building up his household spiritually? Since a husband is head of his wife, as the Christ also is head of the congregation, a married man should examine and imitate the type of headship that Jesus provides for the congregation. Ephesians 5:23. Consider how Jesus described his relationship with his followers. John 10:14 and 15 reads, "I am the fine shepherd, and I know my sheep, and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I surrender my soul in behalf of the sheep." What is the key to success for a man who wants to build up his household spiritually? It is this: study what Jesus said and did as the fine shepherd, and follow his steps closely. 1 Peter 2:21. Paragraph 5. Question: What knowledge does the fine shepherd have of the congregation? Figuratively speaking, the relationship between a shepherd and his sheep is based on knowledge and trust. The shepherd knows all about his sheep, and the sheep know and trust the shepherd. They recognize and obey his voice. "I know my sheep, and my sheep know me," said Jesus. He does not have mere surface knowledge of the congregation. The Greek word here rendered know denotes personal, intimate knowledge. Yes, the fine shepherd knows his sheep personally. He knows their individual needs, their weaknesses, and their strengths. Nothing about his sheep escapes the notice of our exemplar. And the sheep fully know the shepherd and trust his leadership. Paragraph 6. Question: How can husbands imitate the fine shepherd? To exercise his headship in imitation of Christ, a husband must learn to think of himself as a shepherd and of those under his care as sheep. He should strive to have an intimate knowledge of his family. Can a husband really have such knowledge? Yes, if he communicates well with all members of his family, listens to their concerns, takes the lead in family activities, and is conscientious about making good decisions involving such matters as family worship, meeting attendance, field service, recreation, and entertainment. When a Christian husband takes the lead with knowledge not only of God's Word, but also of those entrusted to him, it is more likely that his family members will have confidence in his headship, and that he will have the satisfaction of seeing them remain united in true worship. Paragraphs 7 and 8. Question: how can a husband imitate the fine shepherd in showing affection for those under his care? A good shepherd also has affection for his sheep. When we study the gospel accounts of Jesus' life and ministry, our heart is moved with appreciation for the affection Jesus showed for his disciples. He even surrendered his soul in behalf of the sheep. Husbands should imitate Jesus in showing affection for those under their care. Rather than harshly dominating his wife, a husband who desires God's approval continues loving her, just as the Christ also loved the congregation. Ephesians 5:25. His words should be kind and considerate, for she is worthy of honor. In training young ones, the family head should firmly uphold godly principles. However, he must not fail to show affection for his children. Needed discipline should be administered lovingly. Some young ones may take longer than others to get the sense of what is expected of them. In that case, a father should show them greater patience. When men consistently follow the example of Jesus, they create a home environment that is safe and secure. Their families enjoy the type of spiritual security that the psalmist sang about. Psalm 23, 1-6 reads, Jehovah is my shepherd. I shall lack nothing. In grassy pastures he makes me lie down. By well-watered resting places he conducts me. My soul he refreshes. He leads me in the tracks of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk in the valley of deep shadow, I fear nothing bad, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff are the things that comfort me. You arrange before me a table in front of those showing hostility to me. With oil you have greased my head. My cup is well filled. Surely goodness and loving kindness themselves will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Jehovah to the length of days. Paragraph 9. Question: like the patriarch Noah, Christian husbands have what responsibility, and what will help them to shoulder it? The patriarch Noah lived in the time of the end of the world of his day. But Jehovah kept him safe with 7 others when he brought a deluge upon a world of ungodly people. 2 Peter 2:5. Noah had the responsibility of helping his family to survive the flood. Christian family heads are in a similar position in these last days. How vital it is that they study the example of the fine shepherd and strive to imitate him. Wives, build up your household. Paragraph 10. Question: